with breaking news.
Any minute now, the National Action Network expected to respond to today's announcement by Prosecutor Scarlett Wilson. She told us former North Charleston police officer Michael Slager has been indicted on a murder charge in the shooting death of Walter Scott. You're looking live now at a gathering. Let's listen in.
B. Rivers III, Vice President of Religious Affairs and External Affairs for the National Action Network National Office. I'm also the pastor of Charity Missionary Baptist Church. I'm joined by Elder James Johnson, the state president of the National Action Network, members of NAN, locally concerned citizens, and local clergy who are here leading our effort with the Charleston County School District as well. We're here this afternoon to say on behalf of the National Action Network that we are pleased with the indictment announced by 9th District Solicitor Scarlett Wilson that was handed down by the grand jury to indict Officer Slager for the murder of Walter Scott. The murder indictment is a tremendous step in the right direction. It also says, we think, but Reverend Sharpton, our president, said when he was here a few weeks ago, that maybe South Carolina and maybe even Charleston and North Charleston has a chance to lead the country in how to respond to police accountability, to the use of deadly force by police officers against unarmed citizens, particularly unarmed African Americans and African American males especially. So we are pleased. We are grateful that the family of Mr. Scott is pleased. Their attorneys think things are moving in the right direction. We echo their concern that now the city of North Charleston has a chance to do right in the civil case when it does come. But right now, the system is working as it should. He was indicted for murder. He was charged for murder. And he was fired for murder. So what we would have asked for has now been done. We wanted to credit the grand jury system, the solicitor, the chief of police, and the mayor of North Charleston on getting us to this place, but we really want to lift up the citizens of this community. They responded peacefully with great insistence on justice, have not backed down. We are part of a coalition that's meeting tonight to continue the discussion about the unity and the focus on justice. We also want to hear from Elder James Johnson, who shared with you a concern that we have as NAN and others about past cases, and what we think we got today from the solicitor to work on some past cases of police abuse. Elder James Johnson.
Thank you. At the earlier press conference today with Mrs. Wilson, the question was asked, which she looked at some of the cases in the past that were in question. And she said if evidence reduced itself, she would look at those cases also. So what we're going to do is send a letter to the Department of Justice that asks them for a probe in all the cases within Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley County. And hopefully, during the investigation from the Justice Department, that they will overcome something, turn something over that may help in the investigation of those past cases in Charleston, Dorchester, and Berkeley County. The Wilder case itself is a case that I think that needs to be revisited. Canal case is another case that needs to be revisited. So with those cases, we hope that we can actually have Mrs. Wilson to revisit those cases in the very near future.
We also are joined by, I'm not sure they have any comments, they're more than welcome, pastors of local churches and leaders in our community. We have Pastor John Paul Brown from Mount Zion AME. We have Reverend Leonard Griffin from Morris Street Baptist. We have Pastor Clifford Brown from True Word Baptist Church, as well as members of Charity Missionary Baptist Church and others, and Reverend Charles Hayward, who is a leading member of the Charleston Area Justice Ministry, as well as one working with us on the school district issues. I want to emphasize just one thing that Elder Johnson said. There are many cases that we didn't have video for. because there was no video, there have been no indictments. And some of the T-shirts you will see today and as we go forward say, "Do you believe us now?" So we hope that your solicitor will believe us now. That just because there was no video doesn't mean there was no crime. We believe that some of the cases that we've heard about and are investigating will be taken to the U.S. Attorney for South Carolina, as well as the Department of Justice for whom he works, and ask that some of these cases be reopened. We think the season is now upon us, that maybe the change has come. Maybe we do get a chance to answer the question, do Black lives matter? And just because you are Black and the police kill you or injure you, that should not mean automatically no indictment. So we're optimistic. We're not deluded, but we're optimistic that now we have a chance to go back and look at some cases that should never have been thrown away, that we think some people have lost their lives at the hands of police officers, and the officers have not been held accountable, and they should. So thank you very much. Any questions?
Is there any one specific case that you're looking to get reopened?
Well, as Elder Johnson says,
Reverend Nelson Rivers of the National Action Network, along with Elder James Johnson, reacting to the decision today by the grand jury to indict former police officer Michael Slager in the shooting death of Walter Scott. You've been watching this live. Now, a march also expected to start any minute now, Lisa, at the spot where Walter Scott was shot dead 2 months ago in North Charleston.
Yeah, this one is from the group Black Lives Matter. They organized the march after learning of that indictment earlier today.
Karina Bolster is live there with the group right now. Karina, what's happening where you are?
Bill and Lisa, right now we've only got about 3 people that have shown up here at the corner of Craig Road, which is off Remount Road in North Charleston. Now, right now they only have about a bongo drum set up right over here, as you can see. They're actually headed down on Craig Road, which is a little bit further down to your left over here. They're just speaking with each other and just trying to plan what they want to do. Now, in fact, in the last couple of minutes, I learned they're actually not going to be marching. I guess there's some restrictions when it comes to that and having a permit and whatnot. So basically what this location is going to be used for is a vigil. It's a way for people to come out, pay their respects for what happened here 2 months ago when Walter Scott was fatally shot and killed. I'm told in the past couple of months, all the memorabilia has been taken down out of the fence, as well as at that spot out there in the field. They say it's because of some property restrictions and people not wanting to go on the land that they wanted to hold this memorial in honor of Walter Scott, so people can come out, pay their respects. If they want to choose to walk over to the church, they can do that. It's only about 5 to 10 minutes away from here. In North Charleston, Karina Bolster, Live 5 News.
Thanks, Karina. And within the next hour, that march, the gathering rather, that is expected to happen that Karina's at, will end at the Bethel AME Church for a town hall meeting. That meeting was called before today's murder indictment was announced. Our police reporter Harv Jacobs is live at the church right now in North Charleston. Harv, what are they expected to talk about there at that town hall meeting?
Lots of things, Lisa. The meeting is sponsored by the North Charleston Civil Coalition for Reform, and their plan tonight is to discuss demands for reform for the city of North Charleston for both the city government and also the police department. The indictment against Michael Slager was handed down just hours after the case was presented to the grand jury. Solicitor Scarlett Wilson says even though the case had so much pretrial publicity, she believes Slager can get a fair trial here in Charleston County. The shooting was caught on a witness's cell phone, and it shows Scott being shot in the back as he was running away after a traffic stop. That video made headlines around the world. Slager's attorney, Andy Savage, said in an email he's waiting to see the results of the state law enforcement division investigation, and he wants to compare the state's investigation with his own before commenting further. Slager faces a maximum sentence of life without parole if convicted. Live in North Charleston, Harv Jacobs, Live 5 News.
Thank you, Harv. The Scott family calling the murder indictment a first step in a long process. The family and their attorney